Nuuspot, die tuiste vir Afrikaanse stories agter die nuus.
Good day everyone. So I'm here today at the JSE head offices in Sandton, the heart of the economy, to chat with Ursula de Plooy. So Ursula, we're not talking finances, but please not, but about Change Your Life, the recent tour, and there's so many things we can discuss. But I think what people don't know is all the things that happened behind the scenes before the tour, during the tour, and so let's start.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa, and thank you for visiting us at the JSE. As you know, it's very close to my heart.
I knew you were going to talk about JSE.
And I feel so comfortable with the JSE in the background, so that's part of my life too. But today we're here to discuss Change Your Life and the Crocodile Rock tour. That was a very special tour, and and it was challenging, But let's talk a little bit about what happens in the background. So I think what not a lot of people know is that there's at least 65 people that run the tour in the background. Yeah. And I think trying to go over all these borders, we visited Namibia. No, we started at Zambia. Then we went to Botswana. Then we went to Namibia. And then we went back to Botswana. And then we finished on the Zim Bridge with the falls behind us. It was a special moment, right? Yeah. And I think, people, I don't think 100% appreciate how much work goes in the background to try and get all those trucks with our luggage over the borders, make sure that we show all our vaccination certificates, our passports are involved, and of course all the branding, so I've got a very special person, Lizanne, that's my right hand, and I don't know how we would have done this without her. And then we had a lovely crew on that side who helped us and helped Lizanne to get through those borders. So it's been extremely challenging. And I think another tour in Africa, I don't think soon, but I'm glad we did it. People say it's just been one of those very special tours.
Well, Ish, I can tell you, I've been on the tour, I've been on previous tours, and this one was my favorite by far. I don't know, there was so many elements that made it so special. It was the scenery, it was the people, the environment, everything was just amazing.
And I think what made it special, I don't know if you've picked that up too, we had 21 newbies. And I think they bring a new energy to the tour, right? Yeah. And having all of those guys and to see them like they know what to expect. They don't really know what to expect. And it's so easy to keep them happy because you exceed their expectations, right? So for me, that was special. And I mean, where do you cycle? And there's two elephants that walk across the road. Yeah. I mean, there were so many of those special moments. And I spoke to Mark Curry this morning, and he was just sharing with me to see how those people operate, just to see the roads and to interact with those people, and just to be in Africa was really special for him.
If I think back, I think all those smiles, these people and their white teeth, and they were just smiling and so happy to see us. Ursula, but I know you've been hesitant to talk about this, and previously you said to me, you don't want to bring your personal stuff in the interview, but I think I still think we should tell people that last year was really a tough year. I think if you look back, it might have been one of the toughest years in your life.
Yeah.
You lost your mother, which was a tremendous shock for every one of us.
Yeah.
And then right after that, you had a stroke. And lying there in ICU, I still remember getting the message. And I thought, can this be right? Ursula, you're the epitome of energy. And you're always so vibrant and just going. And all of a sudden, you're in hospital and they say you had a stroke. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's been a tough year, and Teresa, I think it's not just for me. I think I remember you doing an interview for Nuuspot. I think it was your first interview where we spoke about Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that you gave me that opportunity to tell my story about my mother.
I get goosebumps.
Yeah, because my mom is such a critical part of my life. And
if you cry, I will cry too.
Yeah, but I lost my mom due to COVID, and it wasn't a case of my mom was sick. My mom was perfect, and I took her to hospital, and 12 days later she died. And we never had the opportunity to say goodbye. But it wasn't just me. It was like our chairman, Russell Loubser. He was very sick. He was in hospital for 6 weeks. He lost so much weight. And then we've had so many other of our Change Lifers that were really, really sick. And I think we all in 2020, we knew of at least 10 people that were sick or they passed away. So it has been a tough year for everybody. But, Karina Wessel sent me the most beautiful message to say sometimes these things happen to you because it just needs to slow you down and you need to think about your life and what is important in your life. And that's where I realized what Change Life really means to me. I lost my mom. That was my infrastructure. She was my best friend. And then I had the stroke. And all of a sudden, for 15 years, I've been getting on my bicycle and I go and cycle with my family because this is my family. And all of a sudden, that's been taken away because you can't cycle. You've been locked up to heal. You can't come to work. So you cut off from the world. And that is where you realize what Change Your Life means to you. Because in the lowest point of my life, that is where Change Your Life came to the party. And I think that is what people feel when they come to Change Your Life. It's not just a charity that raises funds and projects. This is a community of people that love you with everything they've got.
That's so true.
And that is what is important for me. And it just made me realize that I would have been so much poorer if I didn't have the JSE, the people that really care for me, my team, and my Change Your Life family. Oh. And it's not just me who went through that pain. It's really so many of us. We had all had a Christmas in 2020 without a mom or a dad or a sister or a brother. And that's when you realize what it means to have people around you and to just look at life differently.
Sure. If we look back at the tour,
Yeah.
let's talk about some moments. What stood out for you? I know there were so many for myself that was special. Going over that bridge and riding there. And the day we did the 200 kilometers, and we weren't sure, are we going to make it? But what was the special moment for you?
I think for me, it must be that 200 kilometers day.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because there were half of us who's never done 200 kilometers.
And that's far.
And
200
in that
kilometers on a bicycle is far.
Is far. In that group was our chairman, who's been so sick. And he's never done more than 60 kilometers before we went on the tour. And And he was in that group. Then we had Leila, which is our CEO of the Stock Exchange. She's never done a double century in her life.
Yeah.
Then we had our other chairman, who's Ian, our lawyer. I mean, he said, Ursula, I'm just not fit enough. I can't do this. I can't do 200 kilometers. And and it was hot, and it was
windy.
far, it was windy, and to see these people say, well, if Ursula can do it, I can do it. If Leila can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And then we had these heroes who sat at the front. I remember AD being one of them. And just say, we can get through this. And then we had a good captain, who was Eugene Beck, who says, guys, we'll eat this elephant bit by bit. And for me, that was special. Just to see those faces at the end of that 200 kilometers, we did it. I mean, we did it. And it was just a day where we shared stories on that bicycle and realized how special Change Life is on so many levels.
So Ursula, you just talked about your captain, Eugene, but can I please just mention my captain? Because Coetzee Marie Kritzeninger was absolutely amazing.
Well, I knew you were going to say it's Coetzee Marie. She took this job very seriously.
Yeah, now look, Coetzee excelled. And it was so nice to see how she would just, how she just heard as,
She was like a mother hen,
Yeah,
getting
yeah, yeah.
all those kids together.
I mean, it was the men that was in our team, was the leaders out there in their field on their own. And Coetzee took control. So, yeah.
So, you
no
know,
captain could have been better.
and I mean, we have to talk about these guys that's on the tour, right? They're all leaders. I know we've said this in interviews many times, but just to experience when you put them all together.
The dynamics.
And their dynamics. And how they just relax, because they don't have to make any decisions. They must get on their bicycle and they must ride.
Yeah.
And for me, it's good to see they love the fact that they don't have to think about anything and that they just can be themselves. For me, it's like it's hard to believe that these are actually the people that run our economy.
Yeah.
Because they're just normal people.
Yeah.
And not that I say they're not normal, they're always normal, but it's a different dynamics.
Yeah, and the way people network and work together, it's really.
And then you see them push
special.
each other and help each other up the hills and support each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so beautiful to see. And I think when we looked at the interview, the documentary, they talk about camaraderie, helping one another. And it's quite cool to see the one CEO helping another CEO.
Absolutely.
And they're happy with that.
Yeah.
Then there must be some kind of magic that happens on that tour that make them comfortable with that.
So Ursula, the past week I've received this beautiful little parcel with photographs of the tour. That's one of the gifts that we got. And I sat and I'm looking at all these pictures and all these wonderful memories. But in the end, and I think people should really know this, that in the end we're creating these special memories, and it's a wonderful tour and a wonderful experience. But still we need to remember why we're doing it and what it's all about. So I think we still need to talk about the beneficiaries and
what we do.
Yeah.
You know, Teresa, and that's so important. And I think what's also important, I think for me, working with all our listed companies in my day job, for me it's just such a nice fit, the Change Alive, bringing that together with the JSE. You know, you've got these captains of the industry, and in the JSE we look after them. And this is really, I mean, one of the huge benefits here is that people have the opportunity to really network at this event. And I know we're having a good time, but we're also raising money for such a good cause. And I think we had these videos in the evenings where we would show every night one of the beneficiaries that we support. And you know what really makes me feel we got it right was if you interview these people and they tell you about what Change a Life does with the funds, then I feel, you know what, they for the right reasons. And when they, on the interviews, I mean, you've done lots of those on the tour, where people tell you, we're doing this because we're supporting Martin Dreyer in the Valley of 1,000 Hills. We support Jan in Amato. And they can talk about the projects. And then you realize that there's something we're doing right. And for me, it's so wonderful that Change a Life can bring something to the JSE. You know, it's not just a nice to have. It actually comes to the JSE and it complements what we're trying, or what I'm trying to do, and that is to strengthen the relationships and to bring our issuers closer to the JSE. Bring the love. I mean, that's what's important.
Well, my next interview is going to be with Peter Taylor.
Yes, let's talk about Peter. What a special man. I mean, Peter Taylor has been on one tour, on the train, on Rovas, because, you know, we try and do a different tour every year. And I think that's what really is the difference between our tour and all the other tours that we all go to. Peter was on the tour 1 year, and he said, I want to be involved. We have to be involved. And what he loves is what we do with all the projects and how we are changing those kids' lives. And when we had COVID and we couldn't organize a tour, Peter came to the party and City Group donated 3 million rand. 3 million rand so that we can make sure that we feed our kids, because all the funds that we raise on the cycle tour goes to our beneficiaries, and City sponsors the event and a lot of the other sponsors. So City has been unbelievable, and they in there for the right reasons, and so is all the other sponsors. They say we are coming to the party because we want to change the life of people that's got less than us, and that is why it works.
Can I just say, I love my kit, the cycling kit, the City kit, and my Change a Life kit. I'm wearing it with so much pride.
Yes.
So, but thanks, Ursula. It's always such a good experience chatting to you, and lovely. And thanks for everything that you do for Change a Life, for the JSE, but also for everyone out there, for us, and arranging this and putting this together and loving this so much. I'm always amazed to see how much you really love this charity and the people you work with. Thanks so much.
Thank you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell our story, and for sharing the love that we all have for Change a Life, and my big love for the JSE.
Thank you.
Nuuspot, die tuiste vir Afrikaanse stories agter die nuus.